I don't remember any of it.
You don't remember?
For you, the day bison graced your village was the most important day of your life. But for me, it was Tuesday.
Welcome to the Rated G for Gamers podcast, episode 163. Just a reminder before we start that you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Rated G for Gamers. Please rate and review us on iTunes and Spotify. We appreciate all the love. Also, we are now part of the Gaming Podcast Alliance. Check out all of the fine podcasts featured on there if you're looking for more gaming goodness. I'm your host, Dave Rotino, and this is my co-host, Dan, the podcaster, formerly known as Classic Robinson.
What's going on, man? This is a special episode.
This is a very special episode. We have a special guest later on in the show, Matt Adler from the In Your Element podcast. So we're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into it about Katana Zero. We're gonna get into.
We gotta talk to him about Days Gone.
We're gonna get into Days Gone. We're going to talk about the PlayStation 5, and all sorts of good stuff.
Or it could be the PlayStation Viper. Come on,
it could be the PlayStation Viper, right? The V5, the V is 5 in Roman, so
it could be. It could be.
Oh, that would just be the most awfulest thing if they did that.
Come on, wouldn't. It wouldn't be that awful. Stop.
The PlayStation 5, codename Viper.
Codename Viper. Come
not
on.
About it. Not about it.
The PSV. Let's go. Mm-hmm. I'm all about this. Listen, if we already coined the Xbox Prime.
The Xbox Prime is going to be a thing, Dan. I will bet money on it. I will bet money that it's going to be Prime.
I'm not going to bet money, but it could have the V, the Viper. I'm going to call it the Viper. It's called the Viper.
Yeah, possibly. So I don't know if you saw, but there was some big news, Dan, that came out this week. The new Sonic the Hedgehog movie trailer has been making waves across the internet. Have you seen this? Tell me you've seen this.
I've seen it, and I gotta say that everybody's overreacting.
Everybody's overreacting.
The whole internet, everybody on the internet is overreacting. I'm sorry.
So if you haven't seen the Sonic the Hedgehog trailer, pause this podcast right now, spend 2 to 3 minutes, watch the Sonic the Hedgehog trailer, and then
come back and continue to tell and agree with me that everyone's overreacting. It's
well. Let's go ahead and point out the things that people are overreacting about. I think the biggest thing that people have an issue with is Sonic himself, the 3D model of Sonic, right? Because he looks like a teenage kid. He's got the proportions of a teenager, right? Which is a little bit weird. You know, Sonic was a little cartoon hedgehog, right? He wasn't supposed to be an anthropomorphic teenager in a hedgehog body. I mean, I don't know, man. It didn't look great.
He could be a mutant in the new MCU. I don't know. I'm just saying.
A mutant in the new MCU. Yeah, they're casting a wide net.
I'm just saying. Okay, Sonic doesn't look like the original Sonic from the 90s, and I get it.
And
listen, I get it. This is sort of a character that was brought up in the late 80s, early 90s. Mm-hmm. The music from Coolio that was, late 80s.
That was a little weird. Why did they play Gangsta's Paradise?
That was an early 90s song, right? Or mid 90s song.
It was 95 actually, yeah.
Yeah, and
it was part of the Dangerous Minds soundtrack. You remember that movie?
I do remember that movie.
Yeah, with
Catwoman.
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Catwoman. Yeah,
that's right. Michelle Pfeiffer.
And then they have the main villain is a big movie star from the mid 90s. So I understand that there's a big mid 90s theme to this.
Yeah,
however,
very much. very much.
However, it's catered to 2019 kids. It's catered to our kids. We have kids by now.
But there's no Sonic model that looks like that. Like I know the newer Sonic is a little bit different. He's a little more extended. You know, he's
a little
got
taller.
different features, a little
Sonic
bit,
Boom,
but he's not
tall. Sonic Boom is taller with a handkerchief around, his neck.
I mean, sure, but he doesn't have fur gloves. He's got actual gloves.
So all right. So you know what? I want you to
It's
introduce
just a
me
little
to
weird. It's just a little weird.
I want you to introduce me to a hedgehog that wears gloves.
He's the cartoon, though. He's based on a cartoon character, and they went totally left field. Like, I would... Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and say two things. I don't think you're wrong that people are wildly overreacting, because it is just a movie, right? Right? It is just a movie, and it still could be fun.
That they cannot go see.
It could, yeah, I mean, true. They have the option to not spend money on it, right? Because as we know, most, if not all, video game movies are bad. Sans the Street Fighter movie, because that movie is classic.
The Mortal Kombat movie was the only one that wasn't trash.
Right. So I mean, I will say that first and foremost. The other thing I'll say is why did they take this left field turn? Why did they take this left turn and make
because they had to fit it for, the movie. It's live action. Wolverine.
Yeah, but he's a 3D character, though.
I know, but Wolverine and X-Men doesn't wear yellow tights. Come on.
See, but I think that is a good.
He looks
that is a good
like
decision
he did in the comics or in the cartoons.
Well, I mean, he has his claws. He has the hair that kind of sticks up, right? Logan wears the jacket in the first. He's got the leather jacket and the jeans in the first X-Men movie, and I honestly don't think that the yellow tights and the whatever, like the absence of that, ruins the movie. I will say that the 3D model of Sonic kind of, it doesn't look good. Like, I'm still gonna see it. I'm definitely still gonna see it, but. It's kind of it's not that great. I don't know.
I think the whole world is overreacting. It looks okay. It looks fine. Just because he doesn't have big eyes and a big smile, like it's okay. I think this is I want to see what the director's vision for this character in this movie was. Let's leave it alone.
You just did, and it does not look good.
Well, you know what? It's not a fair representation because there have been movies where trailers sucked and the movie was awesome. Right?
Well, that's true.
And
true.
And the other way around. There's been movies where
trailers that look real good and the movie's bad.
Really good. The movie's bad.
That happens a lot.
So I want to see what this director's vision for this movie is. And if it sucks, then Sonic the Hedgehog 2, change it.
They're not going to make it 2. That's the problem, The money is the bottom line. If people don't go see the movie, there's not going to be a Sonic 2.
Come on. I think it looks fine.
Yeah? All right.
I don't...
we gotta go see it then. We gotta get tickets and go see it.
We gotta go see it. I thought if I had kids, I would 100% take them to see this movie.
Sure,
I know kids who like Sonic Boom, right? Mm-hmm. Like they love that. They love that game.
Sonic Boom is Sonic Boom is not Sonic 06. I'll tell you that. So it's playable.
It's playable. It sucks, but you know what? I'm a GMG baby, grown man gamer.
I don't know what that has to do with any of this.
I'm a grown man gamer, baby.
Yeah, so I don't know if you saw the somebody on Twitter posted a side by side, and they're like, "There, I fixed it" type thing, and they basically took a few minutes and turned the scene. Like there's a scene in the trailer where Sonic is being attacked by all these like missiles and whatnot. And then it kind of slows down, and you see him moving in real time because Sonic is super fast.
Just like Quicksilver in the X-Men movie.
That's right. So you see him moving,
or Flash in the DCU.
Yeah, right. So I think it's a pretty cool scene. Like he's moving all the missiles out of the way to get him, because they're all coming at him. And somebody took that still and then redid the model to look more like our OG original Sonic. And I thought it looked great. I was like,
they didn't change the body. They just changed the face, right?
They changed the proportions of the body. Yeah. Yeah. So they made him a little more like Squanch. They kind of made him a little more compact, a little more round. I thought it was good. I don't know. I don't know about you.
So the internet has spoken, and apparently they're going to change. They're going to change it. The director of the Sonic movie vows to fix the Sonic the Hedgehog design.
That's crazy. Like the trailer went up. What I think on like Tuesday, maybe or Wednesday.
Yeah, it came up earlier last week.
Yeah. It came up earlier last week. Immediately, the internet was like in an uproar about it. Right. They were already like, what is this crap? Right. Very much negative response, And now apparently the director is planning to change it. Like looking at this tweet. So Jeff Fowler at Foultown on Twitter says, "Thank you for all the support and the criticism. This message is loud and clear. You aren't happy with the design and you want changes. It's going to happen. Everyone at Paramount and Sega are fully committed to making this character the best he can be. Hashtag Sonic movie. Hashtag gotta fix it fast."
Well, here's the thing. This movie is supposed to come out in November.
Yep.
I'm not an animator, but I'm going to say it's not going to be something that they could just fix within a couple of weeks. They're going to need a few months to fix the whole movie, right?
Yeah.
And
we have to redo the model and then redo all the scenes with the model.
So I would assume they would have to, get this all done by like September, right? You can't get it done. You can't if the movie comes out in November, they can't get it done in November, right? It has to be done at least a month or two in advance, I would say, for distribution purposes.
Oh, easily. You need at least like a couple weeks to a month, I think, to get the movie out proper. I think.
So I just leave it the way it is. It looked fine to me. I didn't think it was any. I think it could it be better? Everything could be better. But you know what? This was the director's vision for this movie, and I would have just, I would have died on that sword. This was my direction. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. When they make another Sonic Hedgehog movie later on, they can fix it.
Let me ask you this though: do you think the movie will be better off with the reproportioned Sonic if they end up going through with it?
I don't know. I have nothing really to compare it to because I don't have the original movie, right? So I don't know. This will be the movie. This will be the movie.
I think if they make him more in line with the actual original sprite or like the cartoon, if they make it more in line with that, I think it'll be a lot better.
Okay, so I have issues with the movie other than. Like, I don't really care how, his facial expression, how he looks, right? Like, how he looks is how he looks, in my view. Why does his fur or quills, like, they're electric? Like, he's like a Dragon Ball Z character, and they turn electric? I don't understand that.
That's a little weird, too. Maybe it's like a
little
lightning
weird.
bolt, which is supposed to symbolize speed.
That's the Flash. He's the head.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Okay, all right. But then Dr. Jim Carrey, Dr. Robotnik, seems to works for the government, right? And they're trying to catch Sonic, but he really is. I want
to say he's like a hired gun.
Yeah, but he wants to take over the world. I guess he wants to take over the world, and towards the end of the trailer, you see. Jim Carrey really looked like the Dr. Robotnik from the game, right?
Yeah. He ends up turning into him, which is interesting.
Which I gotta be honest, they could have kept that to the end. Like that should have been a surprise of the movie, right?
Oh maybe
not spoil that part. I think whoever did this trailer did a disservice by spoiling that part. Unless there's something else. Unless Mario jumps out of a time warp, right?
Oh my god, I don't know. I don't know if that's gonna. I don't think there's gonna be any Who Framed Roger Rabbit crossovers going on here, but that would be awesome. That would be pretty crazy. That would be
awesome, and that would fix the movie. Screw how Sonic looks.
I don't think that's gonna fix the movie. No.
That would fix the movie.
I honestly don't even think redoing the Sonic model was going to fix the movie, because you're right. I think there's a lot of parts of the plot that just kind of like, I don't know about that one, dog. Right? And they've already cut all those scenes, so I don't know. They're not going to go back and do it again.
It's a little weird. It's like Sonic, when he runs, he sort of like blackouts, the section wherever he is, and then that's why the government's coming out. At least that's how it seemed, right?
Right. Yeah. Because he's building up so much energy, I guess, that like he shuts down part of the electric grid.
And
who knows?
Okay, I think everyone, and I want to leave it with this as far as my opinion. I think everyone is so fascinated on how Sonic looks that they left out the most egregious part for me, at least. I had no one talk about or complain about. He throws the ring, and that's sort of like a teleporter, like the ring, the rings that he collects.
Yeah.
So the ring, I mean, is he from another planet? I mean, I am so confused. I don't know.
I mean, they to be fair, they technically did have those big rings that would take you to the bonus worlds, right? You get the little 3D level or the one where you're in like the weird pinball machine or something. Maybe that's it. I don't know.
So Sonic's frame, I'm okay with. I'm more concerned about the plot of the movie, because if the movie was a good movie with a good plot, you can get over how Sonic looks. If Sonic looks great, I think
so.
If Sonic looks great and the plot sucks and the movie's garbage, then it's like, this movie sucked, right?
See, but how many movies with really good CG, like 3D animated movies or whatever with really good CG, turned out to be bad?
We're gonna see with the Pokemon movie. That's out. It's gonna be great. The reviews the reviews are coming in, and it's getting like an 8, right?
Yeah, that's fantastic. 8 out of 10.
So let's. We got to see that. We got to see the Pokemon movie. Come on.
Most definitely, Dan. Most definitely. I am super hyped for that.
So Dave,
I legit think it's going to be a good movie.
Did you get any good pickups this week?
I did, Dan. I did.
I think we both got the same pickup.
We did because we both ordered Bloodstained Curse of the Moon on the Switch from Limited Run Games. Spoilers. And I have not got a chance to play it yet. But I ended up picking that up, and that was it. And I think you did the same, yeah.
Well, okay, so I bought the game. Full disclosure, I bought the game when it first came out. It only cost like $10, I think.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken. I made it to the end boss. I haven't gone back to try to figure out how to beat him. Now maybe this gives me, sort of an opportunity to pop the game back in.
Yeah, it gives you a little
through it again.
Sure.
Yeah. So I haven't got a chance to play. I just got it today. It just came. I ordered it late because I was hoping to get it on the Vita, and I didn't get a chance to get it on the Vita. So I'm sure it's like $200 right now on eBay if you're going to buy it on the Vita. I did buy. I totally forgot. I did buy that new. What's that game? What's that Miami game? Hawaii game. What's the Hawaii game?
Yeah.
I have it's tip of my tongue. I can't even say it.
Yeah.
Shakedown Hawaii.
Shakedown Hawaii. That's right.
Yeah, I bought that on the Vita. I got it.
Nice.
On the Vita, baby.
Nice. Yeah, it's very much feels like a spiritual successor to Hotline Miami. All right.
Hotline Miami meets GTA, right? Because that's sort of how people are pointing.
Well, I mean, that's what Hotline Miami was totally GTA. Yeah. Very, very violent and bloody, kicking down doors, shooting people with shotguns.
So I bought
good wholesome family gaming.
So I bought that. I just bought that today. So hopefully I'll get that soon. I got to be honest. I bought Retro City Rampage DX, right? I already have it on the Switch, but I bought that on the Vita, and I got that like within a day or two after I bought it. So I should get Shakedown Hawaii pretty soon. Pretty quick.
Yeah. It's coming from the same company, right?
V-Blink. Yeah. V-Blink Entertainment. Nice. So Dave, as we always try to start the show but epically fail, what have you been playing?
Oh, Dan. It's been a bit of a busy week. There's been a lot. It's been a lot going on. Got some old friends in town. Work's been a little crazy. I haven't had the utmost time to be playing video games, but I have been playing the Konami Picross game on my mobile phone.
You were addicted to that game. You were addicted to that game.
It's fun. It's easy to pick up and play. You can start a game in like 2 seconds. And they have a million different Picross puzzles that you can you can play, and everything is free. There's no microtransactions. No nothing. You just pick up a level. You start playing it. You beat it. They give you a new level, and they give you a new level. So Dan, I've sadly been a bit of a GMG. You know,
I
life
know how
kind of
much
got
you
in the
love
way.
that phrase.
I don't love that phrase.
Right.
I'm trying to make you happy. I'm tossing you a bone right now. What have you been playing?
I beat Mortal Kombat 11 story mode.
Oh, did you?
So I beat the story. The story, I'll be honest, I haven't.
It's all over the
up-
place, isn't it?
I haven't kept up with the story after Mortal Kombat 3.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Oh, wow.
So
there is no less than 8 games in between 3 and 11.
So I missed. I don't know what's happening. I played a little bit of this story mode on Mortal Kombat X, because I didn't even call it 10. Mortal Kombat X.
Mm-hmm.
So I beat the story mode on Mortal Kombat 11, and I just got to say, the theme of the year is time travel. I'm just gonna put that out there. The theme of 2019 is time travel.
Yeah. It's in a lot of media. We'll say that.
I'm so lost when it comes story wise.
Mm-hmm.
But I get it, and it was okay. It was good. The story, I'm all caught up now. So when Mortal Kombat 12 comes out, next gen, I know exactly what's going on, because I had no idea what was going on at the beginning of Mortal Kombat 11. To be honest,
that's funny.
So I do want to dive deep into like sort of doing a tower, just doing arcade mode, right? Just give me matches to fight.
Mm-hmm.
I've unlocked so many things because I beat the story mode and I did the tutorial. If you do the tutorial, if you finish all the tutorials, and I know we talked about it last week about microtransactions.
Yep.
If you beat the tutorial, I think you get Shao Kahn for free. Like you don't have to pay for him. Yeah, you unlock Shao Kahn if you just do the whole tutorial.
Interesting.
And it's a lot.
Well,
the tutorial is a lot. It's a lot. It's not like something.
I'm sure. You got to do combos, advanced combos, fatalities, right? Stage fatalities. Sure. I think
I'm gonna try to unlock him.
Mm-hmm.
But I really want to finish the Walking Dead the final season on the Switch. So there are only 4 episodes. It took me forever, but I just finished the first episode. I'm in the middle of the second episode. I kind of just want to see Clem's story come to an end.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I've been really like that's pretty much. I've only been playing 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
I after I finish The Walking Dead, I hope to get back to Days Gone. That seems to be what I'm shooting for, right? But then we have again Rage 2 coming out this month, and
Rage
we have
2's coming out, right? I think we're both gonna get that game.
We have Crash Team Racing coming out this month,
right?
I'm definitely getting that.
Yeah, no, it's ramping up. It's wrapping up.
There's
a lot of games coming out, like May 22nd or whatever. There's like 5 big games coming out.
Well, that's where 21st, and that's where all 21st. The Resident Evil games for the Switch
are
coming out.
But you gotta get those. You get to play Resident Evil on the go. Forget about it.
I won't be buying those. None in spooky games.
No,
I probably will pick up Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered.
No. You're gonna end up buying them and then never play them. That's what's gonna happen.
No, because they're digital only. I'm not.
That's right.
So I'm not going to do that. I would buy it digitally.
Super Boo.
I would buy it physically, not digitally.
Mm-mm.
So I'm all for that.
Mm-hmm.
I really want to finish Clem's story, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sort of see how it ends.
Mm-hmm.
I have a bad feeling, but we'll see.
Oh, spoilers!
I'm nowhere in. Well, it's just a feeling. It's just a feeling. I'm nowhere near that.
May have to break out the Kleenex. And there's you shouldn't be ashamed. Shouldn't be ashamed if you shed a tear.
Listen, I'm not gonna. I'm slight spoilers, because we still have the Avengers spoiler class that we want to do.
That's right. That's right.
Slight spoilers. I cried during The Lion King. I cried during Bambi, and I cried during Avengers.
Hey, man,
I'm man enough to admit it.
It takes a grown man to shed a tear. All right, there ain't no shame in that.
Avengers Endgame, I kind of I shed a tear at the end.
Oh my god, I did too, man. I did too. I know the exact scene you're talking about, and we will get into that on our next episode, the Avengers spoiler cast.
So, because we have a special guest this week, so we're going to switch it up a little. We're not going to take a break right now, but we will get into our top gaming news of last week. So, let's talk about Earthworm Jim. Mm-hmm. I like the cartoon when I was a kid. It only had like 1 season. I like Earthworm Jim
I
1.
never actually caught the cartoon. I
because
knew it was a thing, but
Well, because I was a kid and you were like, in college.
39, right? Yeah.
You're in college.
Dan.
Working on your
Dan.
master's. Your
When you
PhD
say 2019 is all about time travel, I am the king of time travel. All right, because I can go to like any particular point in time and turn into any age that I want. Like I've got incredible powers.
Well, I was a kid. I was in grade school, and you were working on your PhD at the time.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Oh, I have a PhD now. Well, thank you very much. I'll take it.
There you go. I don't think you finished, but you were working on it back then. So
no, I got my PhD. I got my PhD in always being right.
You get your player hater degree.
Player hater degree. Wow. Talk
shows,
about jokes from the 90s. All right.
That shows our age. That shows our age.
Player hater degree. Wow.
So all right. So we got Earthworm Jim. I was a Super Nintendo kid, even though I had the Genesis. So I was all about this on the Super Nintendo version. Where I know maybe the Genesis version was a little bit better. Mm-hmm. Still haven't played the Sega CD version, which that game is hella expensive, by the way.
I know.
We got Earthworm Jim 2, and then we got Earthworm Jim 3D that came out on Nintendo 64. So that was the third one.
Well, it was also on PlayStation 2, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
No, it was on I think it was on PlayStation 2, but I got it on the N64. Or at least I think I rented it from Blockbuster back in the day.
Earthworm Jim 3D was a travesty. It was bad.
I think we got sort of a remake of the original 360, right? That was digital only though. That didn't come out. There was no physical.
Yeah, it did definitely come out. I don't know if it was done by Shiny, but it did definitely come out. I think it was pretty good, if I remember correctly.
But for all you Earthworm Jim fans, we have a new game. A new Earthworm Jim game coming out. It's being developed. Unfortunately, it's not going to come out on the PS4, Xbox One, or the Switch, or the Xbox Prime, PlayStation Viper, or the Switch Pro. It's coming out on an Intellivision console. Yes,
the Intellivision Amico. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. Which, my God, when I first heard the story, New Earthworm Jim, all right, I'm in. When I heard it was coming out for the Intellivision Amico, I was like, "Oh, my heart sunk." So
we talked about this back in October, I think.
We did, yeah. I think about October of last year.
It's sort of the Nintendo. I mean, listen, everybody has their. Where we have the NES Classic, the PlayStation Classic, the SNES Classic. I still don't think we're going to get the N64 Classic. I don't think that's a thing. I don't think that's happening. I think we're going to get a wireless controller to play on a Switch, and they're going to add N64 games to the Nintendo Online.
Maybe
that's we've had Atari plug and plays forever, right?
Oh God, and they've all been awful.
They've all been awful. So why not have it in a television, sort of plug and play, and. It looks okay. It's all white. The controllers look like the little memory cards.
Old school iPods. Yeah.
Well, it does look like iPod, but when I first saw it, I was like, "Oh, those like the little memory cards for the Dreamcast."
Oh, the VMUs. Yeah, right. It's real interesting. We haven't seen much else. Like I remember seeing this render, which is exactly what it is. It's a render of what the system is going to look like. It's not even like here's what the system looks like. Here is a product shot, so I'm still a little like, I don't know. I don't know if this is going to come out. And even if it does, is it going to be good?
They're going to have, correct me if I'm wrong, I think they'll have like old games and they'll be able to play like new games, not Call of Duty style games, but
yeah, but like indie style games, right?
Indie games. Yeah. You could probably play Celeste on this.
Right. So I would assume Earthworm Jim is going to be old school style 2D, right? They have. I mean, I would certainly hope so. They have some of the original guys on there. Doug Ten Naple, and it's an interesting name. And Tommy Talrico, a name you may know, or at least you've heard of his work. He is the one who spearheaded Video Games Live, the video game tour that goes around doing orchestrated versions of all your favorite songs. This guy, Tommy Talrico, was involved in a lot of video games, right? So you've certainly heard his music before, and he was one of the composers on Earthworm Jim, right? That's why the soundtrack was so good. At least I thought it was a good soundtrack. So that's good that they got these people back. It's not so good that it's on this weird ass console that may or may not come out. I don't know.
To play devil's advocate, the only way you can play Star Fox 2 is if you get the SNES Classic. Right? It didn't come out on the Switch.
I mean, that's true, but the SNES Classic is a good piece of hardware with 22 quality games.
Well, listen, everybody wants Centipede in 4K, right? So that's gonna
everybody wants Centipede. Who wants Centipede in 4K? Nobody wants Centipede in 4K.
The older generation, your generation, they want
my generation. I don't even want it. No, nobody wants Centipede in 4K. Nobody cares about that. The pixels are the pixels. It's fine. Centipede in 4K.
Well, let's see. we haven't got any gameplay. We haven't. Well, you know what? What was that unreleased Genesis game that came out on that Genesis?
Hardcore. Yeah.
Yeah. Hardcore came out on that Genesis.
Yeah, on the Sega SG, was it, or the Mega SG? What was the Mega SG? The one from Analog, which is amazingly good.
So that seems to be sort of like
about it.
That's sort of like a seller, like a system seller, by having sort of like an exclusive game that comes
out. Right, it's the only way to get it.
Some of them retro, right? Yeah, on some of these like sort of retro consoles or mini consoles.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great marketing ploy, sort of to get people to buy the game. If there was if there was an unreleased PlayStation game that was on the PlayStation Classic, it would have sold more, right? Especially if it was a good game.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Well, I mean, if it was a good game and the emulation was solid, because that was the other problem. Emulation was just all off on that system.
But I'm all for the Intellivision Classic, right? The Amico. I want to try it. I liked Earthworm Jim back in the day.
I love Earthworm Jim. I'm excited for Earthworm Jim.
Depending on how
not
the game
excited
is,
for the platform.
Depending on how the game is, I'm going to pick it up.
Mm-hmm.
Earthworm Jim May. Do you think Earthworm Jim would be a candidate for Hall of Fame, the video game Hall of Fame?
I think 100% Earthworm Jim would be a candidate for Hall of Fame. I mean, I think it was one of the first games that married the humor and good quality video game gameplay together, successfully.
Okay, so that's where we 100% disagree.
What? Okay.
I have no confidence that Earthworm Jim would ever make it to the Hall of Fame anytime soon.
Really?
Maybe not even in my lifetime.
Really? You don't think it's that good of a game?
I like it. It's okay. But I don't think the Order 1886 would make it to
no, Order 1886. The Order 1886 is not winning any awards. It'll get nominated. As we've seen on Rated G, the only game to be nominated 2015, 2016, 2017.
Yeah, but I just don't think I don't think Earthworm Jim would ever get in. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, what would you think would get into the Hall of Fame, Dan?
Well, I'm glad you asked that. We talked about the nominees of the Hall of Fame a few weeks ago, and they only picked 4, and I think I got 2 right. I was spot on with 2 of them. Mm-hmm. Okay. The fourth one, I don't know how we got in. So Colossal Adventure. I've never heard of this game. I have no idea what this game is. This was inducted into the Video Game Hall of Fame. It must have some real significance in video game history for it.
It is actually. It looking at it here, it was one of the first, if not the first text parser game, right?
Oh wow!
And basically, where you would go like north, west, get lamp, like those kind of type of commands. You may or may not have still images to deal with. Usually, it was just a large wall of text, right? And you had kind of to use your imagination to like build the world that you were kind of navigating around. So I guess kind of a landmark game for that reason, really kind of kicked off that style of puzzle adventure game.
Super Mario Kart.
Yeah.
I told you.
Of course.
Of course. I knew this game had to make it in because it started a whole new genre, right? We didn't have any. We had racing games, but we didn't have like kart racing games that were
right. It was a very unique style of racing game. Yeah.
Yes. Mortal Kombat. Again, I that had to make it right because Mortal Kombat was one of like the 2 or 3 games that helped usher in that era of the ESRB.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, they were the sole reason why the ESRB got created. You know.
And then a game that I got to be honest, I've never played a day in my life. Solitaire.
What?
I've never played Solitaire.
What?
I've seen it on my computer. I've had.
Yeah, you've owned a PC in the past. I know you have.
I've owned a bunch of PCs.
Yeah, and how have you not played? How have you not clicked on the icon to play a round of single player Solitaire, Dan?
Because I have no idea how to play Solitaire.
It's so easy.
It's so easy.
You put the one card next to the other card, and it just goes in order. You put the 9 on top of the 10, which put the 8 on top of the 9, and you just have to, like, you can put a red card on another red card. I'm actually kind of forgetting how to play Solitaire right now.
Yeah, I can tell because you.
But it's not difficult. It's not difficult because all you do is drag a card onto a thing, and it'll let you know this is a legal move or this is an illegal move, and it'll put the card back.
I have no idea how to play. I've owned a bunch of PCs.
Wow.
In my lifetime, I've never played Solitaire.
I think
I've never clicked on the icon.
Okay, Dan, I think you are the only living person in the whole entire world. I'm talking whole entire world that has not played Solitaire.
You're right, because they're all dead. Because I was a kid and I didn't click on it. You're right.
I'm just talking about anyone who's living today, all right, has played Solitaire. Yeah, I had to have. That is insane.
I've never played Solitaire. I'm sorry.
I will tell you this. Okay, so you don't have fond memories of Solitaire, Windows 3.1 or 95. Or even 98 and Windows XP, I think, still had it too.
I have fond memories of 98 XP, Windows 3. I've never played Solitaire.
Okay. Anyone who's ever owned a PC in the 90s and early 2000s, whenever the internet would go out, or you're sitting at home and you're on the computer and you don't know what to do, everyone goes down to that little start menu in the corner and they go up to accessories and then games and then Solitaire, and they sit there and play Solitaire. A round, 2 rounds, 10 rounds. And the next thing you know, it's like 2 a.m. and you're like, what have I been doing all this time? You've been playing one of the best games of all time, Microsoft Solitaire.
What happens when I play God of War? What happens when I play Mario Kart? I've never played Solitaire.
I know, but it's infinite amounts of replayability because you never know the card. The cards always come up in a different fashion. All right, it's totally
safe.
random.
Okay, so Dave, it's safe to say. It's safe to say, I'll probably never have mayonnaise on my sandwich. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'll never be the biggest fan of Final Fantasy.
Oh, that I can 100% agree on.
And I'll probably die.
Not
never
playing. You're taking that to the grave.
I'm taking it to the grave.
I'm never going to play it. There's a line in the sand right now.
I'm
wow.
never going to play Solitaire.
Wow. I'm going to teach you to play Solitaire one day.
Is it on the Mac? Because I'm a Mac person now.
I mean, you can get a version of it for the Mac for sure.
Yeah,
it ain't difficult.
Probably never going to play it.
There's probably 1,000 different versions in the App Store you can get for free for $0.
I'm sure going forward, Minecraft would be the new Solitaire on every system for Microsoft. I'll never play it.
Right.
All right, let's stick with the PC console wars. The PC wars, right?
Mm-hmm.
Epic versus Steam.
That's right.
Epic just got a little bit better. If they weren't already good, they got a bunch of exclusives with indie games. They got exclusive Borderlands 3.
Mm-hmm.
They exclusives with Ubisoft games.
Yep.
And now Epic Games just acquired the Rocket League developer.
Yep. Psyonix, the developers of Rocket League, one of the biggest kind of indie esports games
they started the crossplay. They started crossplay, right?
That's true. I think they were one of the first games, right? Yeah.
They accidentally had crossplay.
Yeah, accidentally had crossplay. That's right.
And they had to stop.
Yeah.
They've been championing. They were the first ones to champion crossplay.
Mm-hmm.
This is big. This is big, right? Because Rocket League. I don't think we're going to get a Rocket League 2 in forever, right? Because people love Rocket League. They have
it's still pretty
following.
solid. The visuals are good, and you can just keep adding more vehicles to it, right? They have microtransactions built into the platform, so they can make more money off of it.
I bought it for the Switch just so I could play with like the Metroid car.
There's a Metroid. That's adorable.
I think it was either Metroid or Mario. I don't think it was Mario because I don't really care about like Mario themed stuff. It was either Zelda or I bought it when it first. Forgot at this point. I only played a couple of matches, so it's not like I play a lot of it. I mean, it's Forza meets FIFA, right? That's exactly what that game is.
Yeah, it's soccer with cars. Yeah, it's real interesting. It's super fun. They've made it really easy to pick up and play, but it's also kind of got, you can get really good at the game and you can kind of get the right angles and trajectories and, fly off the wall and do the flips and all that. So it's definitely got some meat on the bone, It's fair to note all of this, right? So they bought Psyonix, the company that makes Rocket League. And so obviously that means it's a PC exclusive on Epic once the deal goes through and all that, right? Epic has clarified that because, people are wondering what happens to my purchases that I bought on the Steam store, right? So apparently your purchases are safe, right? But it's not going to. It's gonna as soon as they ink the deal and it goes in the Epic Game Store, it is not going to be sold anymore on Steam, right? So pre-existing purchases are fine, but you're gonna lose out on the opportunity to buy it on Steam. So that's interesting. It's an interesting wrinkle.
This is going to keep happening, right?
Yeah.
Like Epic is really drawing a line in the sand and saying they're a major player. I don't think Steam. Well, let me ask you this, because Epic has the whole 88-12 split, right?
Right. So where the developers get 88% of the profit share, and then Epic takes 12%.
Do you think Steam will budge on that right there? Because I think it's like a 70-30 split. Do you think they're
right? It is a 70-30 split. Yeah.
Do you think they'll come down a little bit?
I don't think they're going to kowtow like that because Steam is still dominating. Steam is still king in terms of the digital distribution, right? Epic doesn't have all of the features that the Steam store does.
I think they'll budge a little bit with as far as like the split. However,
they may have to eventually.
But I can see them this forces their hand to put out exclusive games of their own. Something that they don't have to.
You mean like Half-Life 3?
Or Left 4 Dead. Or Left 4 Dead, right? They own Left 4 Dead.
Left 4 Dead 3, sure.
Yeah, right? Like we got that teaser trailer.
It's not to say people don't want it, but I don't think Valve is in the business of making games anymore.
Well, they are making games. They're making card games, but still.
Well, I mean, sure.
Sure.
Their arc or whatever it is, right?
Didn't we get that teaser trailer for Left 4 Dead 3? And we thought that was a leak, but it was more of a fan made thing. It wasn't a leak, and we saw the big response from that.
Yeah,
I think.
Trust me, people want sequels to. They want sequels to Portal. They want sequels to Team Fortress. They want sequels to Left 4 Dead, and most importantly, they want Half-Life 3.
I think that's coming. That's the way you counteract Epic.
Sure.
Epic can't buy. They can't buy Half-Life 3.
That's
can't
right.
Left
And the only place you'll be able to play it on the PC, at least, will be in the Steam store. So
yeah. So I think they'll lower their price a little bit because they still have the user base.
Yeah.
Where Epic is just trying to grow their user base because their UI, from what I hear, is just atrocious.
Yeah, right? It's not great. I mean, it needs some work. I mean, it's still pretty new. It came out. What, like 6 months ago, maybe at best? Like
it came out during a Game Award, right?
Right. Yeah. So I mean, it's still like real new.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just wishful thinking because I like Left 4 Dead. Those games.
Trust me, everybody, we are all in the same boat, Dan. We definitely want a Left 4 Dead 3, and they certainly have the resources to do that, right? They still have a game studio, they still have a development, a research team, and all that.
Stop making the card games and give us what we want. Half-Life 3.
I know. Oh my God, that is the ultimate Christmas gift. Put a bow on it. Put it underneath the tree And there it is, and everyone will go nuts.
All right, so why don't we take a break? When we
Mhm.
come back, we'll get into our conversation with Matt Adler from In Your Element podcast.
Chart Select, a monthly gaming and pop culture gaming podcast filled with facts, fictions, classic nostalgia, and the bizarre comedy of three longtime friends. Join us as we delve into gaming news, reviews, and our favourite segments, which make up the main feature of each show. Chart Select, podcast equivalent of calling your teacher mum. Find us on Twitter at Chart Select Pod, on our website www.chartselect.wordpress.com. On YouTube, search for Chart Select. On Instagram at Chart_Select. On Google Podcasts, iTunes, Buzzsprout, or any podcast hosting services. This is Craig from Chart Select bidding you a farewell.
Well, there's dog meat from the Fallout games. It was a lovable dog that you can store ammo with in his bum.
The moisturised Terminators?
I don't know, I've never moisturised the Terminator.
That's a big boy.
Whoa! Auto-tune me! Auto-tune me, daddy.
And we're back, folks. We've got a special guest on the podcast today, Matthew Adler from the In Your Element podcast. Welcome, Matt.
Hello.
What's going on, Matt? How are you?
I'm good, man. It's been a long day. Been writing. I've got an article that I'm working on right now, and that was basically taking all my bandwidth away. But I am here, and I'm excited to join you guys.
Awesome. Yeah. So you are obviously a fellow podcaster, right? And you also do games journalism, right?
I do. Yes. Fairly new to the journalism. I started back in. Actually, really got started probably January of this year. So it's been just a handful of months, really.
Yeah. And like, how are you enjoying the whole kind of journalism experience?
Oh, I love it. It's been something that I have always enjoyed doing. I've always been an informer, I guess you can say, with all my friends. They're always looking to me for whatever the hottest shit is, whether it's music, whether it's gaming, whatever, throughout my years. And now I've been really focused just around gaming as, it's been a passion of mine since I was very young. So I figured, I started doing the podcast back in August of last year and really started to get a good role from that. And I was like, I really dig this. I want to do more. I want to, see if I can dive further into the industry, and just kind of started writing for a website. I got actually one of my guests that I had on, Pat Hickey Jr. on my second or third episode. He runs the website Review Fix. He hit me up and was like, "Hey, actually, I reached out to him and said, hey, can I do a game review for you just to see test the waters?" And he goes, "Yeah, sure." So he threw me a code for a game. And it was a piece of shit game, and I reviewed it, and and he enjoyed the review, though. He's like, this is great. It was a good, honest, thorough review, and so I kept hitting him up for codes every so often, and kind of got my feet wet there. And then I was like, I want to start actually doing this, part-time, as an actual job. So I started reaching out to a handful of websites, and of course, I start at the top and work my way down and end up basically, you're not going to get a paid gig right off the bat. So I've been writing for a handful of websites, just pro bono, just doing the work to build a portfolio. And I worked up the courage to throw a pitch to IGN, and they took it back in February. Yeah, so that was my first big break. And I've been writing for still the other websites. Mammoth Gamers is probably the one that I've contributed the most to. Indie Ranger as well, and then Goomba Stomp is one that I've written a few articles for. But yeah, it's been cool, man. I've got now 2 articles published on IGN. I've got actually, 3. I just had one published last week, and then I'm working on a 4th right now. So it's been a journey. Yeah, man.
Yeah, I definitely know if me and Dan right now had the opportunity to to do this for a living, I think we would drop our day jobs and kind of do it in a heartbeat.
I would jump in a heartbeat to do this.
Yeah,
every day. I would
it's a lot of fun.
I would love it.
Yeah,
It's a labor of love. I mean, it's a lot of work.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's still a job at the end of the day, right? You
Yeah.
know, you have to make sure, all the words are right, and you got to make sure that, it kind of sounds good, that it's kind of cohesive. I'm sure there's editors that kind of pour over that stuff. So,
Oh yeah,
it ain't easy, but, the medium is great, right? Even if you're talking about a bad game, you're still talking about games.
Mm-hmm.
And is this something? Did you end up going to school for journalism? Was that kind of something that you like wanted to kind of dip your toes in? You're like, I think maybe this is kind of a lucrative career, and then you said, well, games journalism, I can kind of combine, both of those things together and try and make a go of it.
So as it turns out, no, I did not go to school for journalism at all. I actually went to school for business administration and never ended up finishing that. So walked away from college years ago and just been working retail jobs basically since I was younger. So that's where I'm at for my real gig. But yeah, I've been always passionate, always a pretty proficient writer. So it's been kind of just something I fell into accidentally and really found a passion for.
I think I have a little bit of a similar story, I guess. I ended up going to art school and not finishing, and now I do programming. So I think that's just kind of how it goes sometimes,
But me and Dave can relate because we met in retail. We used to work together in a retail store. It was an electronics store, right?
Yeah, way back when, from back from 05, I think. So me and Dad have known each other for a while now.
That's awesome.
Yeah, late 2004.
I think it was 2004 or 5. Yeah.
Yeah, you got hired during the holiday season of 2004, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, we've known each other for like 15 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I never knew he played games. We never knew we both were gamers until later on in life, when it was just. I think that's how we started the podcast. We just were like, wait, you play games? Yeah. You play games? Yeah. Oh, wow.
Let's talk about it. Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
And that's sort of how it started. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I coined the phrase grown man gamer, GMG.
GMG.
I know. He hates
I groan every time he says that. It's just.
He hates it. He hates it. So I work in the legal field. Okay, that's my 9 to 5. But then I come home and I leave all the law books at work and I play games and I'm researching for the show and I'm arguing with Dave over our opinions on
civil
games.
Discourse. I think is the appropriate word.
Civil discourse, yes, yes. So I can definitely. I think me and him can definitely relate on that point. So I listen to your show. I do listen to your podcast. And you have sort of like a PlayStation-centric / Nintendo type podcast. Tell me about In Your Element.
Yeah, sure. So In Your Element, as I said, I started back in August. It's something that I just kind of wanted to jump off and talk to people about games, inform, if you will. And I really wanted to have a show that was indie games focused, but that's such a niche market still and a niche category that I really wanted to capture a bigger audience if possible. So I brought in my two passions, Nintendo and PlayStation. Those are the two consoles that I currently have from this generation. Those are the things that I'm most excited about, and I wanted to share all the news and all the experiences that I've had with my audience and bring guests on that are excited about those things as well. But I've slowly been shifting back towards that indie game. I always sprinkle in indie game stuff in every episode if I can, and I just launched kind of a new stream of shows called Indie Reviews, which are kind of they're under the same branding, but it's basically a really concise review of the latest indie games. And of course, the most recent one I put out was earlier today, which was Katana Zero, which I just finished playing through and reviewing, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. We ended up both listening to that episode, and I think we can safely agree that we're basically on the same page there. Like I think everything you said about the game we kind of echoed. The presentation is amazing, and you get to the end of the game and you're like, I want more.
Yeah. I immediately went on to Reddit and I was like, just looking up what's everybody talking about, in terms of the ending of the game, because there's so much that happens in there, and it's a lot of time manipulation stuff, which is always hard to keep up with.
It's a little trippy. I think it deserves a second playthrough, right?
Yeah, it's short enough that you can jump through there in probably 4 or 5 hours.
My only criticism of the game is I wish sort of the dialogue of the game actually meant a little bit more towards the gameplay, right? Yeah.
It seemed early on like, you have all these decisions that you're making, especially kind of this unique style of dialogue where it's timing based. You have you can cut people off right away and just kind of be this angry asshole, or you can wait and then you have different responses that you can give. And I was expecting that it would lead to something, but everything I saw online kind of seems like it doesn't really matter. It's just kind of there.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that, because when we were at the booth at PAX East, the guy who was kind of like running it and explaining the game and whatnot, he made it seem like that was the case, that your actions would matter and they would play out differently. And it kind of just shakes out to the same ending, I think, every time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a little like, it's a little bit of a I don't know what the word is. I guess like a missed opportunity, right? The game could have been like so much more, and then you could have multiple playthroughs, going this way or this way, and you lead to different endings. But
Dave, come on, they got to leave something for Katana Zero too, right?
Yeah.
Like, what is the sequel going to be? They got to have
Katana
something.
1.
Katana 1.
Katana
you know
1,
what?
right?
I like that. Katana 1. That makes sense.
I think, I mean, I don't want to spoil anything for the end of the game for anyone who hasn't beaten it yet. But they made it seem like there's going to be like DLC content.
They did, yeah. The developer Justin Stander actually just recently said that there's going to be free DLC coming. I don't know what that's going to be, if it's going to be story-based DLC or if it's just going to be like additional content that's not really huge in the sense of like a story beat, but we'll see. Yeah, there's no date on it yet, but he just said it's coming at some point in the future.
It's coming. It's coming right after Limited Run puts out the physical release next year.
Oh my God, that'd be perfect.
Oh, okay.
That would be perfect.
Wishful thinking.
Yeah.
It was just like.
Oh, I was saying they're bringing a speedrun mode too, which will be kind of fun to see, because this is a game that's just built for speedruns.
Oh yeah, no, like 100%, right?
Yeah,
you can get through each room on the first try, and like trying to map out like the best way through. I can get behind that.
Yeah,
I honestly thought they should have had a challenge mode in the game, right?
Yeah.
Just like random kind of small compact levels that you can just kind of run through. Like Metal Gear Solid VR mission style, right?
Yeah,
it's just kind of its own thing, but maybe, maybe
that's what we're getting with the DLC.
Oh, I hope so.
True. Yeah. It's still, again, physical release, limited run. If you're listening, this needs to be a limited run game next January.
Absolutely.
Just like Celeste, right? Celeste, I bought Celeste, love Celeste. Hard game. I think I made it sort of to like the last level. We have the physical release, and they've delayed the physical release because they have DLC coming out, and they want that to be on the cartridge.
Oh.
I just found out. I got the email for that.
It was like a day or two ago, I think.
Yeah,
and it
recently.
was such like an interesting move on Limited Run's part, right? Because they could have easily put the game out and then just like here's a download patch, right? Here's a 200 meg DLC thing, but they're like, no,
Right.
we're gonna go ahead and do it right. We're gonna put the complete edition together.
Well, that's fair.
Very interesting.
So Matt, what have you been playing? What's on your docket?
Yeah, so on the indie side, I've been playing SteamWorld Quest: The Hand of Gilgamesh, which is a lot of fun. Have you guys played any of the SteamWorld games before?
I've played SteamWorld Dig 1.
Okay.
I bought SteamWorld Dig 2. I haven't got to it. It's in my backlog. I gotta be honest.
All right, you need to stop what you're doing and play that game immediately. That is honestly one of my favorite games of this generation. When that game came out in 2017, same year as Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey. That was up there for me in terms of Switch games. Really, really good. Just polished game, Metroidvania style experience, exploration and power-ups and all that. The SteamWorld games are a lot of fun. I played through Heist just a couple months ago for the first time, which is like a 2D style XCOM tactics-based game. And then I'm working on Quest right now, which just came out, which is a
card game, right?
Yeah, it's a turn-based RPG with card building mechanics. So you've got like a deck of cards that you have between your three heroes, and it's pretty cool. It's unique. You've got a different party that you can cycle through, and they all have their own unique cards and abilities, and you just kind of piecing everything together and working through a quirky little SteamWorld story. So I've been playing through that. I got Cuphead on Switch.
Oh, of course.
That's
of course.
been difficult. Enjoying it though, but a very difficult game. And then I was like, "What's that?"
Oh, I was going to ask if it's your first time playing Cuphead. I don't know if you got to play it on Xbox Live at all, or.
No, so I played at a buddy's house, but this is my first proper time going through the campaign on my own.
Yeah.
And I'm on the second aisle. I'm almost finished with that area, and it's good, man. It's a lot of fun. So I felt like would like to punish myself more, so I went out and bought Sekiro.
Oh, there you go.
So, yeah, I just started Sekiro last night, and that is a difficult ass game too.
yeah. Surrounded by much controversy. I know. We talked about it. I'm sure you talked about it a bit on your show too. Just a lot of fans are polarized over it, right?
Yeah.
Should it be easier? No, it shouldn't be easier.
Well, Matt, what's your take on it? Do you think they should have an easy mode? And keep in mind, if Sekiro has an easy mode, should Yoshi's Crafted World have a harder mode?
I've heard that debate too.
Okay.
So I'm actually, one of the pieces I'm working on right now is in regards to the most difficult modern games. So this is like right up what I've been writing about recently. So do I think Sekiro should have an easy mode? Yes, I think it should have an easy option for people that want to experience the story, similar to how Celeste has the assist mode in there. For folks that just want to get through the game and play, that option is there. It's something that you have to go into the menu and actually toggle on yourself. So it's not something that you choose, at the very beginning. I think it should be something along those lines where you've got not necessarily something that you choose from the very beginning. Hey, how do you want to play through the campaign? Easy, medium, or hard, or whatever. But actually something that you go into the menu and like some sort of an assist. So actually, Matt Thorson, who did Celeste, he brought up a really good point. He thought Sekiro would be great to have that type of feature in there too, where combat may be slowed down to 50% speed, so you've got a little bit more reaction time, but you're not actually changing the actual difficulty of the game. You're just making it a bit more approachable. And I thought that was probably the best outcome that this could have had is just toggling it that way, not making the entire game easier.
Right. That's kind of ingenious, because like you don't have to tweak any of the numbers or anything else. It's really just that moment of when you like come up to an enemy and you have, however many seconds or half a second to react to what's going on. Wow, I can get behind that. I could get behind that.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think I understand from the creator side, protecting their original vision for the game. You don't want to completely hamstring that and make it so it's just something that you can walk through without really trying. But I think, there's definitely an area where difficult games should exist. I mean, it creates the spectrum for gaming, or otherwise every experience would be, cut and paste for the most part. So I think difficult games are necessary for, the audience to enjoy.
Yeah. I mean, I know that Dan definitely shares your sentiment, and I know, I kind of joke about GMG, the Grown Man Gamer, and whatnot, but it's true that people don't have a lot of time, right? And some people do just want to enjoy the game. So, adding in those affordances where you can, I think, kind of makes sense. So,
I mean, I personally have limited time, like, to play games, and I have a huge backlog because I am a collector too, as well. I play games primarily for the story. I love story-based games and platformers. Those are like my two genres. I do not have time to play an RPG for 200 hours. I just I can't do it. I'll never finish Persona 5.
Yeah. Oh, me too, man. I've been itching to go back and play too, and I was waiting to see what's going on with that P5S announcement, and then I was a little disappointed, and I was like, man, should I just go back and play it? Because I think I finished around like the 35 hour mark.
Oh, so, Matt, the answer is yes.
Okay, all right.
A lot of my coworkers have gone through it. They say there's a really big twist towards the end that's like kind of a big shock reveal type thing, and it ends on a very satisfying note. That's all I know. So
I think I put 20 hours in and I'm tapping out. Yeah, I gotta play something else. I had to play something else.
That's a good amount of time to get what you need out of Persona. I think you understand the game, like it's enjoyable for that first 20 hours for sure. So that's not a problem to walk away.
But I'm gonna have to replay those 20 hours because I haven't played the game in over a year and a half.
I know that's the same thing I'm wrestling with too. Is do I just pick up my save where I left off and try and figure it out, or start over? Because I don't want to start over.
Yeah,
I call me silly. I was hoping Persona 5R was a racing game or something different for me to get into Persona. I was very disappointed when I heard Royal and that racing. I love my kart racing games, and no matter what Dave says, I'm sorry, they can make Persona into a kart racing game.
I mean, you can make anything into it. If you can make Tetris into a battle royale game, you can make anything into anything.
That's a good point.
Okay, if Joker can be in Smash Brothers, Joker can be in Mario Kart. I'm sorry.
I mean, sure. You could have a little black buggy, sure. I mean, Mona.
That's the Morgana bus.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go. See, now we're thinking these ideas are free PlayStation.
Oh boy,
these ideas, Sega. Sorry, these ideas come free. I'm sorry. I would love that. I got to start the game all over again. There should be a tutorial, and I say this almost every episode, that there should be sort of like a tutorial of how to play the game, right? If you haven't played the game in God knows how long. Like,
it's just something that comes back up after.
Yeah. And like, hey, we notice you haven't played in a while. Like, here's some of the like basic mechanics to get you back into it, right? And
that'd be
maybe
really
even
smart,
like a story recap too, to be like, here's what happened since you like last played.
I would love that. Wow. Why don't they do that?
I know some of the Pokemon games will do that. When you like boot the game back up, they'll like tell you the last couple things you did, and you go, oh yeah, and then you could just get right back into the game. It's ingenious.
That's so smart. Yeah.
I think we've been saying this since like episode 2, right? Like I need something to sort of recap how to play the game. I have to restart Horizon Zero Dawn. I want to beat that game. I'm going to beat that game.
That's my favorite game of this generation for PlayStation.
Wow.
You excited for the sequel?
I am so excited. Yeah, that game is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I played that game and then I put it down because Zelda came out. And I got to be honest, I picked it up a little bit for like another 30 minutes to an hour, and I put it back down for God of War. Because God of War that came out. I forgot how to play. I forgot the story. I'm gonna have to replay. I'm gonna have to replay the game, and I think I put 5 hours into it, 5-6 hours. Enough time to beat one of the most underrated games of all time, The Order 1886. But we're not going to talk about that.
I picked it up years ago on sale for like $5, and I was pleasantly surprised.
Matt, I don't know if you know this, but that game made history.
Why is that?
For Rated G, it was a nominee for Game of the Year 3 years in a row.
2015, 2016, and 2017. The only game ever in gaming history to be nominated 3 years in a row. It's a dynasty.
Yeah.
Oh man,
I was painted into a corner defending that game. I'm sorry.
It's a good game. No. It is a perfectly good game, but it's so short. It's so short.
It was short.
I'm not going to hold that against it, okay? I like the story. I like the gameplay. Well, sure. The mechanics could be tightened up in the Order 1887, but you know what? So the same thing happened to Uncharted, right? Uncharted 2, the mechanics tightened up with Uncharted 2 compared to Uncharted 1.
You're not wrong.
I got painted into a corner defending the game, okay? And I just it had to be an honorary nominee for Game of the Year 3 years in a row. Just because
justice.
I had, yes, it does. Justice for the Order 1886. And I think I made it such a thing that one of Dave's Christmas presents to me was a T-shirt that said the Order 1886 Game of the Year for 3 years in a row.
2017. I had to. I spent the time. I found a good like print shop that would do it for me. Which funny enough, it was actually kind of tough because a couple of the print shops that I first went to were like, they flat out asked me like, is this copyrighted material? We can't print this if it's copyrighted material. And technically it is, because it's the logo and it's the little icon with the serpent thing on it. Mm-hmm. And, they basically pulled my card on it and they're like, yeah, we can't do it. So I had to get a local place in Brooklyn to do it for me. That was like up the road a little bit. And they're like, yeah, we'll print this for you. It's fine. But, yeah, it took a bit. So I hope you're happy.
You gotta find a shop that just doesn't recognize the brand, which is basically everyone.
Yeah, pretty much. So I mean, if it was like a Mario shirt or something, I probably wouldn't be able to get it printed. But
yeah, that's more ubiquitous.
I'm sorry when we talk about top 5 PlayStation exclusives. The The Order 1886 will be up there, right up there with Knack 2. I'm sorry.
That's contentious, Dad. That's contentious. I mean, sure. I mean, like PlayStation has a hell of a ton of big exclusive games, especially like this generation, right?
Matt, if you had to name the top 3 exclusive games for PlayStation this generation, in order, what were your top 3? In order.
All right,
what were your
ready?
3?
Horizon Zero Dawn, God of War, Spider-Man.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Runner-up,
No complaints.
Uncharted 4. Yeah.
No complaints.
Wow. Uncharted. Okay. How about top 5? Add one more to the list.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Come on,
Detroit.
18.
Detroit, Become Human.
Detroit
Oh,
Become
man,
Human.
I thought you were going to say Knack 1. Okay. Sorry.
I didn't mind Knack. Knack was a good, attempt at a mascot platformer for us.
Notice how you said I didn't mind Knack. It's like, yeah, Knack is a game.
Yeah, it's Knack. Yeah, that's the highest level of praise it deserves.
Right, exactly.
I
mean, it did well enough for them to make a sequel, right?
Yeah. I actually want to play the second one.
Yeah, I mean, it looks pretty good.
Because I play games for the story, I am not done with Knack 1. Okay. I'm halfway through that game. Every 3 to 4 weeks or so, I'll go in and because the save states suck, okay, it really does suck. You need to beat the entire level, okay?
Oof.
All right, you really do. Because if you don't, because that can be kind of tough. It's not Katana Zero tough, but you got like 2 or 3 hits and you're dead, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
So I made it like halfway through like a level once. I forgot, it was early on. It was like level 3. I made it halfway through, and I was like, all right, I'll come back to this guy. This guy's kind of like, I got to figure out how to beat him. And it got me. It sent me all the way back to the beginning of the level.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my god, the save states here suck. So this is why I'm
It's a little old school. It's a little old school in its methodology, I think, right?
This is why I'm still chugging away at Knack. Every 3 to 4 weeks, I'll do a level. I'll complete a level and then put it down. I one day, maybe PlayStation 6, but I'll get to Knack 2 as soon as I finish Knack 1 and see how it ends.
It's a compelling ending, trust me.
It is.
It sets up the sequel perfectly.
Hopefully.
I don't remember anything from that game.
Yeah, again, it is a game. Period.
It's a game.
It's a game.
But I'm surprised you didn't. Days Gone. I mean, I've been playing it often. I've only played 3 hours of Days Gone. I'll be honest. I've been playing mostly Mortal Kombat, and like I said earlier in the show, I beat the story mission, the story mode in Mortal Kombat. So that's been dominating my time.
How'd you like the story
in Mortal Kombat?
Yeah.
For a fighting game, it was okay. I mean, time travel. And all that. I mean, that seems to be no spoilers for anything else, but that seems to be the theme of 2019, time travel.
There's a lot of that going on.
There's a lot of that.
A lot of time travel going on.
Yeah.
So.
I jumped into that game, and I don't play fighting games. They don't really sit with me in terms of like what I typically play. So, but I picked it up just because I previewed it for a bit and thought, this looks really good. It looks like a lot of fun. I'll jump in. And I had no expectations going in for the story mode. I haven't played a fighting game story I can't even remember the last one I've went through. But I was blown away. It was surprisingly good. I mean, it was like just basically a 6-hour action movie, but I had a lot of fun with it. It was great.
Okay, so if I have to say one thing about just time travel in general, the time travel, like the rules of time travel in Mortal Kombat make sense compared to the rules of time travel in other media. Other things. Media. 2019. I'll just keep it vague like that. So.
Yeah, I could follow Mortal Kombat's time travel. Other stuff was confusing to say the least.
A little convoluted. Yeah, a little convoluted. Yeah. But I really want to jump into Days Gone. I've played like 3 hours of Days Gone so far. Mm-hmm. I dig it. I'm not gonna say I love it because I don't love it. I love the Order 1886, as you can tell. It could have been a little longer.
He's taking that to the grave, Matt. He's taking that to the grave.
I am taking that to the grave. It could be a little bit longer, but I really like Days Gone. I didn't think it was as bad as some sites said that it was.
Yeah.
So if I had to put put number scores on stuff. We actually just we sort of review the reviewer scores. We do like a review roundup, right? Where I take the highest score and the lowest score, and then we have a discussion about it. But if I had to give it a number, I would give it a solid like 7.8 or 8.
Okay,
it's a really good game. It's a really good game. A little repetitive, but a lot of games are repetitive.
Yeah.
I would say this game is a cross between Far Cry meets The Last of Us.
Okay, I can get on board with that.
Yeah, I mean, so you guys have obviously played a little bit of it, and Dan's played a lot of it. Is it worth getting for $60? Because I'm still kind of on the fence about it. Right? I love zombies. I like open world games, but I don't know. I don't know if it's worth the $60.
Well, Matt can answer. I would say, and we haven't discussed this at all on the show or privately. I would say you wait for the first discount.
Yeah, that's my exact thoughts too. Just wait for. I mean, this seems like a great $40 title. I think once it reaches that price point, I think it's going to be a good buy to jump into, because there's a lot of good stuff that they have. I mean, the mechanics for the horde is very, very cool. I mean, technology wise, that's pretty cool. But there's still so many glaring issues with the game in terms of just bugs and like graphic pop in and frame rate issues and stuff that actually just detracts from the actual experience. And then you couple in a story that's just so stretched out. You know, it's roughly a 50-60 hour game, which is giant in terms of what I was expecting going in.
Sure.
So, and it's a slog. So,
sure.
You know, there's a lot of repetitive side missions that don't really have much substance to them other than just doing something for the sake of doing it. You know? Right.
It kind of just pads out the game time and whatnot.
Now, Matt, when you played a game, did you play it on a PS4 Pro or did you play it on a regular PS4?
Oh, I haven't played the game yet.
Oh.
Yeah, no, so here's the thing. I previewed the game pretty heavily on my podcast. And when the game was first shown, I was like, okay, this looks generic to me. Wasn't excited for it. They kept showing the game, wasn't excited. Nothing really stood out. I didn't understand what the hook of the game was. And then it wasn't until maybe 3 months ago when they started really ramping up the coverage for the game. And then all of a sudden there's a lot of preview events that they had for it, and a lot of the press coming out of it was that it was surprisingly good. And so I was like, okay, you know, I discussed earlier in the year, you know, I wasn't excited for the game. I thought the game was going to probably score around a 7. And then all of a sudden I started seeing a lot more hype coming out, and I was like, okay, you know what? This looks good. It looks like they might have cleaned up the game a bit. You know, it was a little rough around the edges for the first couple years they showed it. And then it came out, and it kind of fell flat. So I was ready to buy it day one, and then I just said, you know what? I'll wait. I'll give it a week and see what happens. And it seems like they just had nothing but issues. So I've been waiting, but yeah, I'm still saying that this seems like a good $40 game that I'll jump in at.
Yeah, I think like some of those issues they'll be able to patch out, right? You know, the graphical things and the frame rate and all that.
Yeah.
I would say the main issue I've heard was more so the audio drops out.
Yeah, completely. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's kind of a critical component, right? When you're kind of running through the forest and you want to hear the freakers, you want to know where they're coming from, like.
Well, that's Dave, that's next generation. You didn't know that? Next generation will be able to have HD audio and we'll hear the freakers coming up from behind, right? That PS4, that's the PS5.
That is very much the PS5. Yeah, I am super hyped for like positional 3D audio. That's going to be amazing. Like if you have the right equipment, it's going to be phenomenal. All right, it's just a whole nother level.
Well, we've heard a lot of Mark Cerny talked about sort of the next generation for the PS5, or I hope it's the PS5. They haven't coined a name yet. Please don't be like the PlayStation Panther or anything like that. And
I'd be surprised if it's not the 5. I mean, given their last 4 consoles.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got a good track record with the names.
The PlayStation Viper, PSV, right? Just be the PlayStation 5. So Mark Cerny went on Wired and talked about next gen, and I mean, what do you think about next gen, Matt? Like, what do you think next gen will be? What would you want from next gen?
So I think what they talked about, or what Cerny talked about to Wired, for what they already have anticipating for the next gen hardware. The solid state drive, I think, is super underrated. I think that's something that's so normal now with everything else in technology, but it's crazy that we're still using standard hard drives on gaming consoles because there's such a bottleneck. If you have a modern gaming PC, like, you're not going to run a regular hard drive for that. It's just it slows down the entire experience. So I think something like that is going to be probably the biggest noticeable difference for just overall the way that the software loads on everything is going to be a lot better. What I want out of it is, let's see. That's a good question. I think I'm really excited to see what Sony does with PSVR, honestly. I've been a big proponent of PlayStation VR for this generation. There's a lot of really underrated experiences there, and it sounds like the next console is going to support the first generation PSVR. They haven't said anything about a revision, but I anticipate that they'll probably do something with that because I think that technology is good. I think it's been selling relatively well in comparison to the other VR headsets that are on the market. So I'd like to see them advance with that.
Well, I think it would have to be somewhat wireless, right? Or maybe just one wire, no converter box. Because I think the setup is just too confusing.
It is a little cumbersome, yeah.
And they need better controllers. Like, still using the Move controllers from the PS3 are not good.
No, they are a little weak.
I call the PSVR beta, right?
Yeah.
This is the beta. This is the beta machine.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure. Yeah, it definitely is. And you can tell some of the experiences are really just that. They're just experiences. They're just proof of concept, just to make sure that they can run. They'll throw some mascot in there. They'll make something that is playable and enjoyable. But I don't think we've seen like the big first party stuff yet. I mean, the closest thing that I can say is like a really good experience that I've had would be Astrobot. That was next level in terms of just getting in the headset and playing through something that's so familiar, like a platformer, but actually being immersed in there, and you are the camera effectively. So it's something that I can't really explain to people until they try it on themselves, and then they see firsthand, like, wow, this is like totally not what I was expecting it to be. So that was probably the coolest experience I've had so far. But everything else has just been like, I mean, I played Farpoint. Farpoint was like,
Farpoint was all right.
It was. I didn't finish it it was fun. I think I am excited for, what is it, Blood and Truth, that comes out this month. The guys that did the London heist on the demo disc.
Oh yeah. So which was a really cool tech demo. Like, it was like it was a promise of good things to come. So
right, there was like some cool action sequences in there, and I think this game looks like more of that, with a little bit more of a story that goes along with it. So we just haven't seen like the big like experience yet that really is like the must have or must play. Everything's been good to great, but nothing's been like a Last of Us or a God of War, something that just everyone has to play.
We haven't had the killer app.
The scale is not there yet. Have you played Wipeout Omega Collection with the VR enhancement?
I did, yeah. So I picked it up on a sale just because I saw, on the VR subreddit, everyone's raving about that game. So I hopped in there. I'm not a big racing game guy either, so I thought it was fine. I played around with the different sensitivity modes. So
you really got to tweak it,
to see what's comfortable. I don't really get sick in VR, which is great. So I didn't really have any issues with like the movement, but I played a few races and I was like, okay, that's fine. Like I played Wipeout, I think on Vita or PS3 or something, and that was the last time I played that franchise. But yeah, it's okay. It just made me want F-Zero, to be honest.
Oh my god, I know. That'd be amazing. Well, we have the other Labo kit now, so it's it's a possibility.
I know. I'm waiting to get my hands on that. Actually, my Best Buys around here have been sold out, so I'm waiting to jump in at some point.
Wow. So I got the Labo kit VR.
Yeah. So, how do you like it?
I haven't opened it yet. I got to be honest. I haven't opened it.
He's a cardboard collector too, Matt.
Yeah.
Listen, I collect a lot of things. I have some comic books. I have some trading cards, video games. Cardboard. The most expensive cardboard I've ever spent in my life. My plan was to get the variety pack and just keep that, and then buy this small. They have another version that's only $40.
Yeah.
I have that one. Kit. Yeah, I have the starter kit, which I do want to open, but I only want to open it until I get the variety kit. I got to be honest. Because I can't put it back, and when am I ever going to use this ever again?
Yeah,
really.
I bought the first variety kit for the Labo when it came out, and I built 3 of the 5 things, and so I still have like the piano and something else to build. It's super fun though. Like I grew up with Legos, so that was like something that I enjoyed doing. I like putting stuff together. I like the little like instruction booklets and going step by step. So like actual building the stuff, I think was more fun than the actual experiences playing them. Like it's pretty amazing what they've actually done with Labo, just in terms of the actual technology and how they've got like rubber bands and like little pulleys making things, and they integrate the Joy-Con in there so you get like actual feedback from like vibration and stuff, and like they're pretty neat experiences for sure. But I just have like a box of these like random cardboard figures now that I don't really use for anything, so I'm worried it's going to be the same with the VR stuff. But I like that kind of that kind of weird technology. So
right. Okay, so Matt, we have a very important question to ask.
The most important question you will ever be asked.
Is it anything to do with the Order 1886?
It is not. It is not. Surprisingly not.
But it's not.
Okay. Yeah, this is a traditional rated G. Goes all the way back to, I believe, our first guest, Stephen Lai. We ask all of our guests, best game of all time, Super Mario Brothers 3 or Super Mario World.
No pressure. Right. No pressure. Okay. But you got to get this right. There's only one correct answer.
You're right. There is only one answer, and it's Super Mario World.
Thank you.
Oh, yes. No.
Yes.
Oh.
Woo.
Oh.
All right.
That's a stake in my heart. You have to defend your answer, though.
I will, okay. Dave. So here we go. So Super Mario World, I grew up in the early 90s, so I did not grow up with an NES. So I don't know if things would be different if I had. But the first time that I played a Mario game, I want to say was actually the Super Mario All-Stars cart on Super Nintendo. So the like basically remastered versions of 1, 2, and 3. So I didn't even end up going back and playing the NES Mario Brothers 3 for a long time. So those were really the versions that I knew. But Super Mario World on that same cart was just outstanding. That was like one of the earliest gaming memories that I have, was playing through Super Mario World with friends or with family members. And just the world design was fantastic. I love the overworld map in that game was just so like incredible at the time of just traveling to all of these different areas and all of the levels in there too. And it's a great game. It's one of the games that I feel like is timeless, something I can always go back to and play. And Super Mario World is just like comfort food in terms of platformers. So sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, like, I can certainly get behind the nostalgia factor. That that definitely weighs heavily. You've got good memories behind it. The counter to that, I will say that Super Mario Bros. 3 did lay the foundation for everything in Super Mario World.
It did, with the overworld and everything.
Sans Yoshi, which I don't think they had the technical prowess to do on that system, even though that was in Shigeru Miyamoto's head from the beginning. And it is definitely a great game. It's just slightly inferior to Super Mario Bros. 3.
So Matt, no explanation needed. You got the correct answer. Ding, 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 ding. You got the correct answer. This is the correct answer.
Yeah, and defended well. I will say.
I thought the fights with the Koopalings were a lot of fun too. So it's a good game. It's a great game. I do have to say though, the one thing that I remember from Super Mario Brothers 3 from when I was younger was the like big land area. I'd always go in and get that first warp in was it 1-3 that you drop back and go behind the stage? Yeah,
that's right.
So anytime I play the game now, like that's just ingrained in my memory. Like I don't even go through the regular progression. I just jump straight to that like weird big land area just because it's just so quirky to see the Mario's so small and all of the enemies huge.
Yeah, it's so good. Probably the best world in that whole entire game. I think.
It's very cool. Yeah.
So Matt, before we get going here, well, we want to thank you for coming on the show. It's been great to have you. Do you have anything that you'd like to promote?
Absolutely, and I want to thank you guys again for having me on. It was a lot of fun chatting with you guys. So I've got a podcast, as we mentioned earlier. The show is called In Your Element. As I mentioned, it's a PlayStation and Nintendo Switch focused podcast with a lot of indie game discussion there as well. You can find my website is inyourelementpodcast.com. I'm on Twitter at on Twitter at IYE Podcast, and on Instagram at In Your Element Podcast.
That's great. That's great. So check out Matt there. He's got some really great stuff. And also you can check us out. We are on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Rated G for Gamers. So please listen, like, rate, review, and subscribe. And as always,
keep gaming.